in the golden age of entertainment, when stages were lit by the glow of footlights and radio waves carried voices into homes across America, there was an actor named Lou Sisk. Born Louis David Sisk, he graced theaters, radio shows, and early television productions in the 1930s and 40s. During one of his stage performances, he met a woman who would become my mother. Their romance led to marriage and eventually to my birth. But like many stories in showbiz, their union was destined to be short-lived. Tensions grew between my parents. One weekend, my father took me to visit his parents in Ohio. He was supposed to return me to New York on Sunday, but he didn't show up. For my mom, this was the final straw. With determination, she flew to Ohio, took a cab to my grandparents' house, where my father and I were staying, and demanded, "I want my baby back." She brought me back home to our 6th-floor walk-up brownstone apartment in New York, where she packed up my father's belongings and left them in the hall. I was just a tiny baby at the time, unaware of the drama unfolding around me. As I grew up, I knew very little about my father. For years, all I had was a single photograph my mom had given me, a snapshot of him holding me at Jones Beach. My childhood was far from easy, marked by an abusive stepfather who turned violent when he was drunk, and he was often drunk. At 16, seeking escape and a fresh start, I left home, traveling as far as I could until I reached California. What I didn't know then, what I couldn't have known, was that when I ran away on February 1, 1967, my father had only a week to live. Had I known, I would have gone to see him. But fate had other plans. Today, I reflect on the father I never knew. The actor who graced stages and airwaves, who met my mother during a performance, and whose time in our lives was cut short by the complexities of their relationship. Recently, an online search led me to an unexpected discovery. A photograph of my father on stage in Chicago at the Studebaker Theater, frozen in time, mid-performance. This image, alongside the Jones Beach snapshot from my childhood, offered a glimpse into two worlds: the father I might have known and the artist who touched countless lives. In that moment on stage, captured forever, I see the man who devoted his life to entertaining others, to bringing laughter and emotion to audiences night after night. Though our time together was brief, his passion lives on, not just in these photographs, but in the very air of every theater, in the crackle of vintage radio shows, in the flickering images of early television. Today, as I honor the memory of Louis David Sisk, I realize that his legacy isn't just in the roles he played or the shows he performed. It's in the ripples of joy and wonder that spread from every performance, touching lives long after the curtain fell. And in some small way, it lives on in me, in my voice, in my story, in this very moment we're sharing. To all those who create, who perform, who bring light to others' lives, your impact reaches further than you know. And to those who, like me, search for connections to a parent long gone, know that sometimes the greatest performances of their lives are playing out in ways we're only beginning to understand. Today, I celebrate Louis David Sisk, actor, father, and the man whose final curtain call echoes still in the story of a son he never knew, and in the hearts of the many audiences he never met.